Hello, welcome to another episode of Realistically Random. So, do you remember a couple years ago hearing about the boy who got on a ride in Orlando and apparently was like too big? It was like one of those ones that's like everybody is strapped in and it's like circular and it goes all the way up and it comes down really, really fast. And when he came down, he fell out of the seat, hit the ground. And I remember hearing at the time that he was still breathing, like was really, really hurt, was still breathing, but eventually died. We're going to do a little brief background, but yeah, it happened in 2022. And it's coming back up now because his parents won a lawsuit, $310 million. So obviously, the money cannot replace a loved one at all. I'm sure they'd rather be living however they were living before and still have their son. So let's get into it. Okay, his name is Tyre Sampson. The 14-year-old boy from Missouri died after falling from the Orlando free fall ride at Icon Park in Orlando, Florida on March 24th, 2022. The ride. The Orlando Freefall was the world's tallest freestanding drop tower, dropping riders 430 feet. The ride didn't have seat belts, but instead used a shoulder harness to secure riders. The incident. Tyree was visiting the park with his American football team during spring break. An investigation found that Tyree's harness was manually adjusted to accommodate his size, which was almost double the normal range. When the ride braked 70 feet from the ground, Tyree was ejected from the seat. The aftermath, the ride was closed and is being dismantled. Tyree's parents, Nakia Dodd and Yarnell Sampson, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Icon Park and the ride's operator, Funtime. In December 2024, an Orange County jury awarded the family $310 million in damages against Funtime. Icon Park had previously settled with the family for an undisclosed amount. Oh, so okay, so they had a lawsuit against Funtime and Icon Park. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's that video. Ugh. Even though I don't want to see it again, but I kind of want to, bring a little clarity to this. Hold on 1 second. Let's see.
3 minutes now after the 6 o'clock hour. Fox 35 investigates some new cell phone video that shows the moments before a 14-year-old died after falling from a ride at Icon Park. All right, so take a look here behind me. This side angle shows Tyre Sampson in his seat on the free fall drop tower. You can see in these videos how much higher Sampson's harness is compared to the other riders. The state's accident report says the ride was coming down the tower, and when the magnets engaged, Sampson fell out of his seat. But the harness was still in a down and locked position when that ride stopped. Fox 35 showed the videos to two different experts, and their opinions were similar.
I see a patron in an amusement ride, and that over-the-shoulder restraint system is not properly affixed.
It should have been a closed circuit, if you will, so where it came all the way down over the shoulders, containing the person and or resting in their lap at the seat pan.
Well, Fox 35 went through the operator's manual as well and find out how the harnesses are checked. Workers pull up the screen, and the green means the seat is locked and good to go. The attendants at the ride that night say they did check Sampson's seat and say it was locked.
So if it was locked, how did he fall out of it? The world may never know, but they have to pay for it. A young boy is no longer here. 14 years old. All he wanted to do was get on that ride. Wow. Pretty sad. Please no more.
The family of the teen is being represented by attorneys Ben Crump and Brian Hilliard. Since the night of the death, the rides at Icon Park, the slingshot ride, and the free fall ride have been closed. Today, we did see the Sky Flyer is back operating. Earlier today, we spoke with a witness from that night who tells us he and his girlfriend have been having a hard time sleeping in the aftermath of that tragic night.
Just seeing that replaying over and over in my head, like, it's really rough.
It's been a rough last couple of days for 20-year-old Montre Williams. He recalled Thursday night when 14-year-old Tyre Sampson lost his life after somehow falling out of his seat from the Icon free fall ride.
My first reaction, like, it felt like a dream. Like, I didn't think it was real until, like, I actually walked up to him.
Montre says he was with his girlfriend standing in front of the ride as they watched guests get on.
Nobody walked around to see if everybody was securely, locked in.
Moments later, as the ride came back down, the next image he says he saw was the teen lying face down on the ground.
He called me, he said, Mom, and frantic, so my heart is racing. And I said, what's wrong? He said, somebody just fell from off the ride.
Montre's mom says her son took pictures moments after the fall, but Montre tells us he decided not to post the images on social media.
When it comes to something like that, you want to protect the family in any way you can. So I salute him for that because he saw a lot.
Out of respect for his family and also him.
Both mom and son say they believe Tyre's death could have been prevented.
I feel like all it takes is an extra second for someone to do an extra check, an extra tug, or just asking someone, how do you feel?
The company that operates this ride says workers are responsible for checking lights on the restraint system to ensure they are properly secured.
The ride will not ascend unless those harnesses are locked in. And, again, so there were no indications that there was anything different.
As of right now, the cause of death has not been determined. Orange County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Florida Department of Agriculture.
Okay, so the thing indicated that it was locked, but somehow when the ride did that break at 70 feet, he somehow slipped out of it. So maybe it had something to do with his body weight. Maybe it was too much for the ride. That should have all been checked beforehand. If a person is over a certain weight, they shouldn't be allowed to go on certain rides because stuff like this can happen. I know there are height requirements. You would think there's weight requirements. So now this young man's life is lost. All because he wanted to go on a ride. And you can see in the pictures that the harness was not even fully down. I don't know how it could show that it was locked on the screen for the person conducting the ride, but it was way up here. Pretty sad. Let's watch a little bit of his mother's testimony during the civil trial.
So that you could be heard. Whenever you're ready, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nakia, if you could introduce yourself to the gentleman of the jury.
I am Nakia Dodd, Tyre Sampson's mother.
Nakia, I know that Ania, your daughter, was in the courtroom earlier. Did she go back to the hotel?
Yes, she said it was kind of too much for her to take on, so she didn't want to continue the day with this.
Well, you are our last witness, and I really want this to be about you and the jury. All I'm going to try to do is just ask you some questions, but I want you to talk to these folks who later on today will be deciding this case, okay?
Yes.
When is Tyree's birthday?
August the 17th, 2007,
Where was he born?
St. Louis, Missouri.
And can you describe Tyree as a baby?
As a baby, born 8/17/2007, he was 8 pounds, 15 ounces, 23 inches. So with those numbers alone, I knew what I was up against. So I was already prepared in a sense. But as a baby, he was never the colicky or crying or spoiled as we call the babies. He was always happy, go lucky around anyone. If you showed him love, even as a child, he in return showed the same thing.
So we got a picture behind this, so it's going to be a little difficult for you to maybe you can see it with the screen.
It's coming up on her screen as well.
And so that's Tyree as a 1-year-old?
Yes, 1-year-old. Maybe a year and a week later, maybe. Yes.
He looks very confident, standing up, and a big boy. And this is another picture of him playing on the couch.
Yes. I'll say maybe 6, 7 months, maybe.
And did Tyree, we heard a little bit about a nickname. Tell us about his nickname and how he got his nickname.
The nickname that he came across was Big Tick. Big Tick was a name that he was given from the football coaches because he was almost always the youngest and always the biggest child on the team. Big Tick is like the he was about to be the next best thing out of St. Louis. So it was Big Tick, explosive. Just the name stood behind him. It meant a lot. Gut wrenching is devastating. That for a kid that was not out here doing anything reckless, to lose your life for negligence is undescribable. I mean, to lose a child regardless is undescribable. My son had the world coming to him, and he was going to have the world like on the silver platter. It was going to be handed to him. He knew that, and for this to happen, it's like they just took that from me, stole that from me. He wouldn't even give him a chance to live. He wouldn't even give a chance to do anything. They robbed me. They robbed him. They robbed us. I was able to track my son to tell the house exactly where my son's location was. I mean, I got the call at exactly 11:11 St. Louis Central Time. Leon called the phone, and he was like, "Ma," and I'm like, "Tyree?" Because Tyree phone, he never kept a charge on his phone, never. So when Leon's calling, it's Leon's number, but it's I have him saved under Tyree's other brother. That's how I knew it was Leon. So when I'm asking like Tyree, he was like, "No, Ma, no." I'm like, "Leon?" "Yes." I'm like, "What happened?" He was like, "Ma, Tyree fell off a ride." That's all I heard. That's all I was told. Yeah, because I'm like, I was not there to protect him. I was not there to protect him. I couldn't see him. I couldn't hold him. I couldn't tell him, "I got you." I couldn't tell him, "I'm there for you." The same thing he would tell other people. I couldn't even tell my son that. Yes, that hurted me. I was crushed. I was devastated because I'm your mother. I'm supposed to protect you. I was going to get it. My son was going to be a beast in football. That's known. My son was 6'6", 25 at the age of 14. He was winning the same as the Eastside High senior that was coaching him. My son was going to he was going to be known. So all this deliberating money, I don't want this. I want my son back. And I would love to rewind, go back to March the 22nd, where he had just taught Mom, "I'm living my best life. I love it here." I want to go back to that. I want to go back. I don't want to have to wake up and go to my phone and on Facebook looking at memories. Why? Why am I robbed? Why? Why?
Wow. Whew. That's hard. That is hard to watch. especially as a parent. It's hard to watch. Ooh. So, like I said, they were awarded that money, but nothing could replace their son. Nothing. Yeah, so that's the update on that. Until next time, see you guys later.